Hello.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm just good. And you?
I'm doing well, thanks. It's winter here in Argentina, so as you can see, I'm
Okay, okay.
with a lot of layers on.
Yeah, yeah. But in India, it's totally summer. It's hot.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's humidity today, and it's the temperature at around 42.
Oh, wow. Very hot. Very,
Yeah,
very
it's
hot.
very hot. Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay, so my name is Anne. What is your name?
My name is Shubham, and I'm from India.
Sharom.
Yeah, Shubham.
Sharom. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Shubom. Shubom.
yeah.
I like it. All right. So what do you do for a living, Shubom?
Uh, I'm mechanical engineer, but apart from I teach mathematics as well. This is my side hustle. It's teaching. Yeah.
You're
But yeah,
teaching.
yeah, but I'm pursuing a higher study, and I'm just mechanical engineer. So it's the pandemic is totally changed after the post pandemic is totally changed. So I'm right now is I'm pursuing a machine. It's a programming language. It's Python. It's a machine learning and artificial intelligence, that kind of
Python.
stuff. Yeah,
You work with Python.
and
I've heard of Python. I don't know a lot about computers, but
yeah,
I,
it's a basic for the programming language. After that, you have to jump on machine learning and artificial intelligence. It's ERP
okay.
system. It's a technical stuff.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to talk about computers? I have a question for you. Maybe
No.
not. It's your job, so if you don't want to, it's okay.
So Anand, are you from USA?
I am from the US. Yep. I'm from Colorado.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but I live in Argentina.
Okay.
I've lived here for about 5 years.
Okay. So I'm came on Cambly for the conversation skill. I'm just enhance my speaking skills. So I
Okay.
always bring a topics in different topics. So today I'm bring a topic about a topics of police brutality in the USA.
Oh, police brutality. Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I studied sociology, so
Oh,
I
okay.
I might have a different perspective than other people because of what
Yeah,
I
actually,
studied.
I've been reading a newspaper and watching about watching TV about police brutality in the USA. All around the world, is one news that wide spreads about George Floyd murdered by the police. Even though it's not new in the USA, I think over the last 5 years, I watched a lot of news about police brutality in the USA. But
Hmm.
I'm thinking about why people care now, right now, because during the pandemic, there have been so many African American peoples murdered by police. So why the George Floyd is tipping point? What do you think?
That's a good question. So actually, I don't think it's a new problem, and I don't think that people are just caring about it now. But like you said, I think the pandemic has a lot to do with it because people all over the world are so connected with social media on the internet, and so people found out about it a lot more quickly, right? So
Yeah,
it drew a lot of attention, but it's actually a very old problem in the U.S. And this sort of stress and um, anger and frustration has been building up for a long time, right? If you've been reading about this and following it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
then you probably know about the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you are right. You are saying whatever you are right because I read the article in the New York Times. People that stay at home nowadays is quarantine. So and a lot of quite a few people is stuck at homes. So they all the time watch TV and newspaper. So it's automatically provokes that news. Yeah, that's the reason I think. Yeah, that's why the
Yeah,
protesting. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So you have
Uh,
heard of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Yeah, yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
Even yesterday, I saw the article. I saw the news in the a lot of white peoples and black peoples. They take a gun outside and they have a lot of weapons.
And they have a lot of weapons?
So, yeah, yeah. I saw
Yeah.
picture. It's Okay.
Yeah. So this movement, Black Lives Matter, started when I was in university in 2013, actually, and it it began with the acquittal of a person called George Zimmerman. Have you heard of it? Have you
George
heard of him?
Zimmerman?
Yeah, George Zimmerman.
No, no, I haven't heard before.
So this was a pretty big case in which this person, George Zimmerman, um, was he George Zimmerman? Trayvon Martin. Ah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So Trayvon Martin was a teenager, in a black teenager, Trayvon
Okay.
Martin, and he was shot by a white man in his neighborhood. I think
Okay.
I hope I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
confusing
yeah,
them
yeah,
because
yeah.
there have been a
Yes.
lot of
Yeah, yeah.
cases.
I heard this story. Yeah, I heard this story. Yes, but one of
Yeah.
my friends was telling me about it.
Yeah. So he shot this teenager who was wearing a hoodie, and so this sparked a lot of interest in, well, why is a teenager wearing a hoodie at night suspicious? Mostly because he's black, not because he's a teenager at night wearing a hoodie. Anyway, so the Black Lives Matter movement sort of came out of that case when George Zimmerman was acquitted. Acquitted means he was released from charges,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, anyway, that's sort of when this movement began. But there have been a lot of episodes, like you said, of police brutality against
So
black
do you
people.
think that is this protesting due to his Trump and this pandemic, because Trump is not dealing with this pandemic. He's focused on the economy, and he's just not dealing with a this protest as well. He's provokes the white people nowadays. What do you think about the, Trump?
I think Trump is a very controversial figure. I personally am not in favor of him or his policies or his attitudes towards a lot of things. I think that he is intentionally inflammatory, which is not a great idea when you're in charge of a country with building racial tensions. I don't know if the rest of the world knows about this, but for example, there's this specific date in the U.S. that's June. Whoops, writing in the wrong box. June 19th, and it's called Juneteenth. I think I spelled that right. Have you heard of it?
Juneteenth.
Yeah,
What is it?
it's on June 19th.
Okay, okay,
On June 19th, and it's a special day for Black people because on Saturday, June 19th, in must have been, I don't know, 18. It's called Jubilee Day. I can't remember which year it was, but basically it's when the news of the emancipation. Do you know what emancipation
yeah,
is?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
independent. Yeah, it's like kind of it's synonymous of independence. Yeah, freedom.
Right, yeah, freedom. When the black people were freed
Yeah,
from slavery. It's when the news of emancipation reached this place in Texas,
yeah.
right? And so it had been a few years. Some time had passed between the announcement of emancipation in the rest of the country and when the news reached this community, right? Because obviously internet wasn't a thing, and people couldn't pick up the phone and call. And so what happened was that the white people were insulating this community from the news because they wanted to continue having slaves. And so when the news reached this town, there was a lot of celebration, and people were very happy. And it's sort of bittersweet because at the same time they realized that they had been illegally kept as slaves for longer than was necessary because the law had already changed a while ago. Does that make sense?
So,
And their
yeah, yeah.
slave owners knew. So anyway, that's the background. So this year, Trump decided to have a Republican rally in that
Uh,
town on that day.
I can tell you one thing is about it, Trump. Trump is, I was listening to the podcast of yesterday's about the view, what the white people and the African American people think about it, Trump. It's a lack of leadership. They're demanding the leadership, the good leadership, and demanding the equality and demanding the fairness because he is totally ridiculous person.
Right.
I ask a lot of tutors about Trump sometimes. They told me, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him.
Uh-huh. So what do you think about him? Maybe you're impartial, but obviously you follow things in the US, so you might have an
Uh,
opinion.
it's about Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, Trump. I don't like him personally because my father say all the time he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he say when he's video conferencing and the press conferencing. He just say all a word and like he's provoking the in the South It's Asian country, the China. He just wanted to world war happen in the until the November December by this year. So Chinese virus. He doesn't know what he's saying during while he's is conferencing. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. A constant political joke is his Twitter account.
yeah,
Like
and
his whole Twitter account is just a
yeah,
political joke.
he's not dealing with this COVID-19 as well in the US. US is a developed
No.
country, and yeah,
No. The last week, the big news was that Trump went out with a face mask for the first time.
yeah, yeah. I saw in the newspaper. It was
Like,
it was amazing for me. How is it possible?
yeah, that's a good example of how he just
Yeah.
disregards, I think, his responsibility as the
Do you
president of
think
a nation.
Do you think that the Trump is will come back in this referendum, in this yeah
Election,
election?
if he will be president again, God, I hope not. But the statistically, it's more likely that a current president will be reelected than a new president will be elected. So statistically speaking, it's more likely that he will stay in office. My personal opinion, I hope not, but just have to wait and see.
My father said to me, if once the Trump is come back in this election, then the world war it can happen by this year. It's a 99% chance.
Yeah, no, I agree because he's very provocative and
Yeah, it's probably correct.
I think
Yeah.
he has very little respect for other cultures and other countries. And I think it's a sad reflection of some isolated population in the US. I mean, for example, my family voted for him. And it's it's a point of frustration, right,
Yeah.
between me and my family. But I think that many people in the US are just isolated because the country is so big, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have contact with other cultures, with other countries, and so they just honestly don't realize what the rest of the world is like.
So I want to ask you one question. Is that is it common in your countries that people can take a weapon and gun along with them? Because
Is it
I saw.
common?
Yeah, it's a common because I saw a lot of pictures, pictures in the newspaper, a lot of white and it's a enormous kind of weapons.
Yeah, well, in order to carry a firearm or a weapon
Okay,
inside a city, you have to have a special license to
okay,
carry a firearm inside a city, right? Once you're out in the country, then if you have a
you can.
firearm legally, then you can have it
Yeah,
with
it's
you,
in the
right?
country. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
But
it's
especially,
city. It's city
huh?
only about city. But
Right,
at least you can take the you can't take the gun is Texas to New York. It
right,
means
exactly.
oh
Because
oh
each state has their own laws regarding
oh,
firearms and their movement. Anyway,
oh. Okay. Thank you
very
for letting me.
interesting conversation. Thank you so much for bringing a fresh topic.
Yeah, the first topic, and I'm gonna make a schedule again.
All right, I love it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you for talking with me today.
Yeah, have a great de suom.
Shubham. Yeah.
Shubham. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Great. Bye.
Bye.